Slavery family. As we continue in our praying and fasting and seeking after God, I have another passage to consider, found in Matthew 16:24. Then Jesus told his disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." I love this passage. The older I get, the more this passage sticks out to me, because I've realized more and more just how important it is. I mean, listen to Jesus' instructions here. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me. This is a remarkable passage because it conveys a truth that is, honestly, difficult to come to terms with. When I picture taking up my cross, I think of the story of Jesus literally carrying his cross, the soon-to-be implement of his own death, up a hill after having been beaten and whipped. It's not a pretty picture, and it wouldn't have been for the disciples either. They would have known what crucifixion was, but they wouldn't have thought about Jesus' death and resurrection. He hadn't died yet. No, they would have thought about it as the way the Romans punished criminals. It was very ugly and very unappealing. So when Jesus tells his disciples to take up their cross, the picture they get is not a fun or easy or happy one. Jesus is not suggesting that taking up our cross is in any going to be easy. Because, screwed up a little bit, I'm just going to continue.
Yeah, you're good.
So when Jesus commands us to deny ourselves, to take up our crosses and follow him, he's in no way suggesting that this process will be easy or fun. And it's not. The more I study scripture, the more important I realize this passage becomes to me. The Bible never promises us that life on this earth will be easy or even fair. It certainly wasn't for the Apostle Paul or Peter or John or James, who all died terrible deaths in the service of God. And it certainly wasn't fair for Jesus either, who died on the cross for sins that he never committed. But Jesus did it, gladly. And in the same way, he calls us to be willing to sacrifice for others, even when it's not fair sometimes. And this call extends to every aspect of our lives. It extends to how we treat people every day. It applies to the way we choose to spend our time, to the attitudes we have towards people, and to our willingness to do good unto others. For me, when I read this passage, one thing I think of the most is marriage. Though I certainly have not been married a long time in the grand scheme of things, I am already learning that there's so much personal sacrifice in marriage. It requires the willingness to sacrifice my time and my energy, even or especially on the days where I'm tired and drained, just so that I can help my wife, so that I can make her life easier, so that I can support her and lift her up. Sometimes taking up my cross means working long hours to provide for us. Sometimes taking up my cross means taking responsibility for work that needs to be done at home, even when all I want to do is kick back and relax. And sometimes taking up my cross means denying my instinct to defend myself when my wife tells me that I've hurt her. And in this way, God calls me to deny myself and take up my cross. God calls all of us to take up our cross in areas of our life, from the really big decisions to the really small everyday decisions. And they are all difficult, sometimes painful. But making that decision to deny yourself and follow him is so important. So as you continue in your prayer and fasting, think about what area of life God may be calling you to deny yourself in and to take up your cross. As you do this, I think we'll find that it's worth all the pain and frustration, both big and small. And the best part is, I know that God will grant us strength as we strive to obey him and to be more like him.